So now we're on to the digestive system. What is the function of the digestive system?
To break down food and utilize the nutrients.
Very good. Break down the food and absorb the nutrients. The two separate processes there. One thing that we want to keep in mind as we're moving through this is that the contents of your digestive system are actually exterior to your body, right? So if you imagine an extremely simplified version of a human, you've got the outer part and then you've got this tube sort of running through the middle. But in order to be internal to the body, it has to be absorbed across that membrane, right? So when we talk about these substances entering the body, so it's already in the stomach, yeah, but the contents of the digestive system are technically external to the human body. In terms of the anatomy of the digestive system, we put its components into two main groups. We talk about the alimentary canal, also known as the gastrointestinal GI tract. So we've got the alimentary canal, and then we've got the accessory digestive organs, not excessive, accessory digestive organs. The alimentary canal is the system of passageways or tubes running through this part. So your mouth to anus, so everything in between, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Those are all part of the alimentary canal, and that's what the food is actually passing through. And then there are the accessory digestive organs. These are not, the food will not actually pass through these parts, but they're contributing to the breakdown of the food in some way, usually by creating a secretion, though not always. So we see things like salivary glands, liver, pancreas, teeth, tongue, gallbladder, all contributing to the breakdown of the food. Here we see the major organs of the digestive system. There's the mouth, surrounded by the salivary glands, esophagus. Of course, most of our digestive organs are in the abdominal cavity, just south of the diaphragm here. Stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Throughout this, there are 6 essential activities that the digestive system must perform in order to do its job adequately. The first one there is ingestion. What is ingestion?
Taking the food in.
Yeah, putting the food in, introducing it into the alimentary canal, getting it in your face, right? After that, we begin to experience propulsion. And in fact, really, all in this same area, mechanical breakdown, digestion, the beginning of propulsion, all starting around the same time. So when we talk about mechanical breakdown, we're talking about basically breaking this stuff up into smaller pieces. What would the first example of mechanical breakdown be? Chewing, right? And now we know, your mom tells you to chew when you're a kid well enough so that you don't choke, and obviously not choking to death is important. But throughout the entire digestive system, what is the purpose of mechanical breakdown of the food?
To get small enough parts to be used or to absorb the... Don't you want it like, how much are
You're getting the right, you're on
you
the right
want it
track.
broken down enough so you can actually utilize the tiny parts.
Yeah. Every time you break something big down into more smaller pieces, you're increasing the surface area. And that's going to increase the effectiveness of this next part here, which is digestion. Now, I feel like we can be a bit more specific. They're talking here about chemical digestion. Using things like digestive enzymes to alter the nutrients on the molecular level. So for example, one of the major nutrients that we need to get is protein, right? Do you actually absorb proteins through your intestinal wall in your body? No, you don't, or you shouldn't, okay? What you do is break those proteins down into their components called amino acids. You absorb the amino acids and use them to build your own proteins, okay? So breaking it down mechanically is good, but eventually we want to alter it chemically as well, through chemical digestion. And as we know, these chemical processes and these chemical reactions, they can occur much more efficiently when they have a large amount of surface area to work with. Okay? So mechanical breakdown and chemical digestion helping to get nutrients out of this food. Propulsion, of course, is pushing it through the alimentary canal. Anybody know what we call that muscular, that muscular action that pushes food through the alimentary canal? Has to be actively moved, right? It doesn't just... you might have heard the word. It's called peristalsis. And we'll see that later on and describe it in more detail. But have you guys heard of peristalsis before? Yeah, it's like a muscular squeezing or milking of this stuff through all of the tubes of the alimentary canal. And actually, we're going to find out that there are other kinds too, but we'll just leave that there for now. Peristalsis is the main one. Where is the first example of peristalsis in your body?
Is it the esophagus?
The esophagus, right. So after ingestion, you're going to get some mechanical breakdown and even some chemical digestion in the mouth. Then when you swallow and move this stuff into the esophagus, peristalsis takes over, and that's what moves it through the rest of the alimentary canal. Once food has been adequately broken down and digested into the monomers, essentially, of these nutrients, it can then be brought into the body through the process of absorption that takes place mostly in the small intestine. And then, of course, there is defecation, which is pooping, right? Just jot that in. Because I think that's a funny word. Here on the next slide, you see those things being described, color-coded here. So ingestion, introduction of the food into the alimentary canal. Mechanical breakdown, as we know, begins there in the mouth because that's where we chew this stuff up into smaller pieces. But what we're going to find out is that mechanical breakdown and chemical digestion are actually all occurring in the same three parts of the alimentary canal. So mechanical breakdown and chemical digestion occurring in the mouth, the stomach, and the small intestine. In the mouth, it's chewing. In the stomach, it's this action we call churning, kind of a mixing, squishing kind of deal. And later on, we'll see about something in the small intestine called segmentation, another type of mechanical breakdown. Those same three places, we're also having chemical digestion. You're producing a limited amount of enzymes in your mouth, but it does still count. There's a lot of chemical activity in the stomach, and actually the majority of it is occurring there in the